Rob Kendall along with Tyler Bless, the head coach of the Plainfield Quakers. Coach, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Great. Obviously not the result you're looking for on Friday night. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of the circumstances surrounding the game. First time the lights have ever gone out on you as a head coach?
Yeah, as a head coach for sure. Funny thing, I think the last time they went out was I was out of high school, but my dad was still at Mooresville, and we were actually playing Plainfield at Mooresville in a whole transformer blue, and they had to come back on Saturday morning and finish the game. So hopefully we won't have to experience that ever again.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, about how that sort of disrupts the flow of things. It was a close to 2 hour delay, over 2 hour delay, and
Yeah.
kind of what the process was for that and how you guys kind of stayed ready under those circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, so the process when we were on the field still was to, I think they were trying to trip it back and forth to see if it would get back, to going, but that was not successful. Really had two plans. Plan one was ended up what we were doing. Went to the gymnasium, kind of had the kids spread out, take the shoulder pads off. Went ahead and gave them their post game snack because we didn't know how long we'd be in there. And trying to get the transformer obviously to be replaced, and that's ended up what happening, and then starting the game. The other option was if it was going to be a longer process to switch out a transformer, then the plan was the game would be played on Saturday morning at Plainfield High School because of Whiteland High School hosting like a 32 team band tournament during the day. So those were the two options. We expressed those to our staff and to our players. And then probably that first hour, I honestly thought, okay, there's no way that this is going to happen and we're going to go play at our place on Saturday. And then the second hour was, okay, it was looking like that they were going to be able to fix it and we were going to be able to finish and play. So I commend our players on kind of flipping the switch to get back ready for game mode. We probably told them maybe, I would say within a 45-minute window of like, hey, it looks like we're going to finish the game. We need to kind of transition back to game mode. I thought our kids handled that part well. We were able to go out once the lights went back on. We finished our offensive drive and ended up scoring a touchdown. So obviously the halftime was modified and all that, but I think looking at it, it was one of those things where it was out of our control. Fortunately for us, we had some experience with something like this last year against Lafayette Harrison. We go up there. We don't even get ready to go out for pregame, and a thunderstorm rolls in and just kind of sits over that area. So we ended up going home, coming back on Saturday and finishing that game. So kind of related to that a little bit, but I do think our kids handled the delay as well as a 15 to 18-year-old could under those circumstances.
So let's talk about the game itself. As you mentioned, you guys come out of that delay. I mean, you're down at the score, come out, score. Probably feeling pretty good about yourselves. And then kind of talk about the game from that point, because it was really even Steven, and talk about some of the things you saw that you said, hey, we did that pretty well, and some things you said, we got to get better.
Yeah, I mean, I think first off, got to give credit to Whiteland. I mean, they had a good game plan. They executed it well. They ran the ball. We did not run it enough. We turned it over 3 times. With all that being said, and this is what we told our players yesterday morning was, kind of how ugly it was, to be honest with you, of us just not taking advantage of things on offense, not getting enough stops on defense, missing a PAT and a crucial point in the game. With all that being said, like with about 6 minutes to go, we had the ball. We were down 3. We had our offense on the field, and like when that happened, I felt really good about where we were at. Unfortunately, we didn't capitalize off of those opportunities, and we turned it over, and that turned into points. But I think that kind of tells our players, okay, hey, even how wonky of a game it was in terms of the lights going out and there's a 2-hour break, and we didn't play very well on either side of the ball consistently. We still played hard enough. We still hung in it. We didn't give up. We still had our chance to go win the game, late in the fourth quarter. So those are things to build off of. extremely disappointing because we had a great week of practice. I thought our kids handled their prep work really well. I think the energy was really good, Monday through Thursday, even Friday in APC class, all the way up to pregame and walking out to play. I thought we were, focused and ready to play. And, unfortunately, Whiteland was better than us on that night. I don't know if I could say that every single time we play them in 10 times, but that Friday night they were the better team, and fortunately we have to live with that and we have to learn from it and grow.
So let's talk about, obviously, I think you hit the big thing, which is those 3 turnovers. How do you, as a coach, I'm curious, how do you get better at that? Like, do you just look at them and go, don't give the ball to the other team? Like, how do you work on that?
Sure. Well, the first one is, I kind of own that one because it was a play that we were wanting to try to maybe catch them off guard. We had a little bit of trickery involved with it. I think we got a little maybe excited or I don't even want to say nervous. I think it was more just excited to run the play because it had some potential to be a big hit for us. I think the snap was a little bit weird in terms of coming out. When Bryce turned around to pitch it to Luke, that's when I think the ball hit his thigh pad, and from there it kind of is a bowling ball. So that's something that I can learn from as a head coach and an offensive play caller, that sometimes it's okay to just continue to do what you've been good at and not try to get too cute. Those are that's a good lesson for me as a young coach that's still trying to do it the right way. So that first one is on me, and I own that, and that's fine. Those people can be mad at me. It is what it is. I think the second one on that drive that I just spoke about, I think our quarterback's just trying to make a play, and the kid has a never say die mentality, and I respect that, and I love that. Looking at it with him yesterday, he saw the other options that were available. He owned it. I think the kids understand that. I don't think some 16, 17-year-old kids not intentionally trying to throw interceptions. So it's hard to do. There's a good lesson in that, not throwing across our body. And then the third one, we're down 10. It's about a minute to go. He's got a guy in the middle of the field, probably 15 yards down the field that's open. He overthrows it, and the guy makes a pick. So unfortunately that happens, but I think the first one and the second one, those turned into points for Whiteland, and that's something that we can't do, especially against an offense like that when we know they're going to have a good control of time of possession, and that can't happen against an offense like that.
Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors who make Plainfield football possible every year here on Audio Sports Online, the Coaches Show and the games on Friday nights. Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crestpoint Real Estate Coach P, Chris Pearson, Sell with Jones, the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edward Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellison Associates, BGW Construction, and Legacy Motorsports. All right, one game left to go in the regular season, 6-2 now, and Martinsville will come to town on Friday night. What do the Artesians bring to the table?
Yeah, the Artesians are 3-5. They got beat on Friday to Mooresville. I think they're have a good relationship with Coach Duggar and talking to him throughout the season. Really, sounds like they're a little banged up. Sounds like they're playing some guys that obviously probably didn't get maybe an opportunity last year when that team was heavy senior loaded. Nonetheless, they're still a good football team. I mean, they still have good players. They've got a really good quarterback that does some good RPO stuff. They've got a solid running back that runs hard. Seems like every year they have offensive linemen that want to be able to get their hands on you and run the football and kind of drive block you. Defensively, they're again what we have been or what they have been the last couple of years, where they're just kind of flying around. It's that 3-3 stack. They're giving you different coverages. They're giving you different alignment. But overall, they're still a good football team, regardless of what the record is. Obviously, they want to catch momentum going into the tournament. They don't have the bye like 5A and 6A, so they're going to keep playing after they play us. They don't get a bye week. So I would expect them to be ready to go coming into our place on Friday. I believe it's their bye week, I believe it's their fall break as well. So it's a good week for us to, kind of get away from school and have a break from that. And just kind of be what I said to our guys yesterday, like just go be a pro athlete. I mean, you come in and when it's football time, let's play football. When it's time to have off away from football, go be a kid and relax and enjoy the time off with your family and friends. So expect Martinsville to come in here ready to go. Regardless of the record, they're still a good football team.
All right, so we'll have a show next week we'll know who our sectional opponent will be. There'll be an off week, and then we'll have the broadcast on Friday. That's sort of the itinerary for that. So talk about the draw, talk about what this looks like, and what does tonight look like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, the draw is the draw. I mean, it's completely out of our control. That's for everybody in the state. We're in a 4-team sectional with Anderson, Cathedral, and New Palestine. So obviously we're familiar with Anderson because we played them last year. We've been familiar with Cathedral. We haven't played them in a couple of years, but I know maybe 2021 was the last time in the sectionals. I don't believe we have played New Palestine before. We did some work with them last summer going into the 2023 season, so probably a couple more than one summer ago. Those two teams are really good. Obviously, they're in the top 5. New Pal won 4A last year, so they bumped up to 5A. Cathedral was in 6A. They bumped down to 5A, and us and Anderson stayed in 5A. So it is what it is. We're going to get an opponent. We're going to have prep. We're going to have a great bye week and kind of focus on us and enjoy that time where we get to just, kind of get good on good and get some of these young guys up to speed on what we want them to do for the future. And then we'll have a game week prep of whoever that opponent is, and we're going to fight like hell regardless if it's home, away, or wherever. So we'll watch it tonight probably as just a family and kind of go from there and talk about it tomorrow in football, and then move on and get full focus on Martinsville.
Okay, let's again thank our sponsors, Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate, Real Estate Coach P. Chris Pearson, Selleth Jones, the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling, LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edward Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellison Associates, BGW Construction, and Legacy Motorsports. All right, as we said, Coach, is our final Coaches Show of the regular season. Any parting words, anybody you'd like to thank or mention as we put a bow on the program this week?
Yeah, I think, the big thing is, sorry, just dropped everything. The big thing for us is probably the people behind the scenes in terms of how we get to places. We take 3 buses. We take a trailer that our quarterback club has purchased, and we have put, branding all over that. So Coach Stallone drives that with his truck, and that's, from his good heart that he has, that he does that with some of our other volunteer coaches to get all of our player equipment stuff too. And then the bus drivers are people that, that are just very unselfish people that want to do good for teenagers and kids in general. We're in a bus shortage here in Plainfield, so they're going straight from their routes to the high school to pick us up and take us to Whiteland, and then they sit in the dark for 2 hours and they don't get home until 1 o'clock either. So very appreciative of the people that behind the scenes do a lot of things for us to try to run this thing like a first class program, whether that's our bus drivers, whether that's quarterback club members and parents that sacrifice their Thursday night dinners or Saturday morning breakfasts. We have a janitor here, Vince, that cleans our locker room and our whole building every morning. So those things don't go unnoticed. We're very appreciative of those people, whether they're a coach, a parent, custodian, bus driver. That kind of helps make Plainfield football go. But those people don't ever get enough credit. So hopefully this shout out is enough for them, but also very appreciative for the work that they do day in and day out.
All right, Coach, let's get a big win on Friday night. We'll look forward to talking to you next week about a 7-2 squad that'll enter sectional with an opponent.
Yes, sir. Have a great week.